everybody, this is Angela, and you're listening to 5 Picks and a Chick featuring El Gato. This is the podcast that gives you 5 NFL picks for people who love football and friendly wagering. Today we are joined by our special guest, Big Zay. Thanks for being with us, Big Zay.
Yes, thank you guys for having me and bringing me back.
All right, let's get started. Okay, last week 4, we didn't do too bad, El Gato. I was 5-0 and you were 3-2. Our season totals are the same. We're both 13-6, so that's 68%. I say that's pretty darn good.
68% equals green. So yeah, I'll take it. You were outstanding in your picks last week, Angela. So good analysis there on the games that you selected. And 3-2 is not bad either. It's on the green side. Had some close ones. That Chiefs game where Mahomes could have scored, would have covered that one, but that's the way it goes sometimes. But I'll take it.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, no, drop, and you were like, go into the end zone.
No, I said go. Yeah, we were on opposite ends on that one, but that's the way it goes. But we did well. Yeah, overall winners.
Yeah. All right. Well, my first pick is going to be Pittsburgh Steelers plus 4.5 versus Baltimore Ravens. The Steelers ran into a buzzsaw last week in the upstart Texans. The Steelers had won their previous 2 games. The Ravens are actually coming off a blowout win against the Browns, but struggled the previous 2 weeks. The Steelers come back home where I think they will play a lot better. So I'm taking the home dog, Steelers plus 4.5. What are your thoughts on this game, Big Zay?
For this one, I'm going to go on the other side. I'm going to go with the Ravens. Lamar's been playing lights out. He played lights out last game. I know you say he struggled the previous ones, but I think he finally found his groove. Last game, he looked like MVP Lamar, which I think he can get it done. He's going to go up against a good pass rush. Of course, when you go up against Watt, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, pass rusher in NFL history, it's going to be tough to for the Steelers to keep up against this Ravens defense with Trubisky under center. They weren't really doing much with Pickett, and Trubisky is the worst quarterback in my opinion. I got the Ravens winning this one thanks to their stellar defense against Steelers offense that might come out a little rough.
All right. What are your thoughts on this game, El Gato?
Yeah, this is a rivalry game. Ravens at Steelers. The Steelers at plus 4.5. I didn't realize the Steelers have won the last 5 or 6 matchups over the last 3 years. So that was an interesting statistic that I came across. Steelers have a bye week next week, so you can count on them playing with a lot of urgency and really maybe just throwing the playbook at this game to pull out a W. But not so fast. They have a common opponent in the Texans. Ravens beat the Texans. Steelers lost to the Texans. Will it be Pickett or Trubisky? I'm thinking it's Trubisky that's going to play. That's the Ravens' second straight road game, but the Steelers are also giving up on the defense, surprisingly, over 420 yards per game. Ravens are much more improved in the red zone, so I'm going to be the contrarian on this one. I'm going to go with the Ravens.
All right.
Breaking the streak.
Sounds good. My second pick is going to be Denver minus 2.5 versus the New York Jets. This is the Wilson Squared game. The Jets have only won 1 out of their last 9 games dating back to the last season, and they only averaged 16 points offensively. Denver did squeak out a comeback win last week, and they are back home for the first time in 3 weeks. I'll go with the better Wilson on this game. Broncos cover. What are your thoughts on this game, Big Zay?
I'm going to go with the Jets plus 2.5. The Jets offense started to get together and started rolling. They started gelling together in that second half against a pretty decent Chiefs defense. Did Zach Wilson find his groove? I think only time will tell. Denver does get Justin Simmons back, but I think the Jets are going to win this game by running the football with 2 dynamic running backs. I think it's a big bounce-back game for Breece Hall in particular. I think the Jets finally unleash him. I expect him to have a big game, both on the, him to have a big game for himself, but also my fantasy roster would have, that would be great for for me if he has a big game. And also the Jets defense, I think, is too much. I think it's going to be too much for Russell Wilson and this Denver offense. We got Sauce Gardner out in the cornerback position. I think this Jets defense gets after Russell. And so I got the Jets covering and also winning this game.
All right. What are your thoughts, El Gato?
Well, this Jets team, I was quite surprised, I think, as a lot of people were that paid attention to the Jets and Chiefs game last week. And, the Jets really had a chance to win that game. I really thought they were going to pull it out at one point, midway or late in the third quarter, maybe even midway to the fourth quarter. I think the Jets coaching staff has really simplified play action passing or even the game planning for Wilson. Played much improved against the Chiefs and their defense. But, he did make that fumble. You can even read in his lips on the sideline that, he lost the game and said as much post-game. And, the Jets defense, maybe they have something to play for. Sometimes a team, I think, gives up when the offense isn't pulling their weight. And the Jets, the way they played against the Chiefs, maybe the Jets are saying, well, maybe let's get after it a little bit more. I think the Jets defense is going to be too much for Denver. I can't hardly wait to watch this game. It's going to be a close one. I'm going to go with the Jets at plus 2.5. I think they're going to start turning it around slowly, and what better way than to catch a Denver team that can't really hold anyone defensively. So I'm going to go with the Jets at plus 2.5.
Big Zay, do you have a third pick for us?
I do. My pick's going to be the Texans plus 2.5 versus the Falcons. The Texans are rolling right now. They're riding a 2-game winning streak versus the Falcons. They are riding a 2-game losing streak. I'm going to go with the team that's hot right now. Personally, I don't see why the Texans are an underdog in this game. Their offense is amazing. And, of course, Stroud is having a historic rookie year. I don't want to jinx him. And sorry, Texans fans, don't get mad at me. But I say this, but this guy still hasn't thrown an interception, which is very impressive to me. I mean, we're rolling into week 5, and he's still pretty perfect back there. Damian Pierce, their running back, I think he gets a roll in this game. I think he has a good bounce back. He's been kind of struggling to start the year, but I think he gets it going. And, of course, you have DeMeco Ryans calling the defense. It's his team. When you have DeMeco Ryans calling the plays, I mean, you got to feel more than confident. The Falcons are struggling. They're watched that London game, and their offense look crazy bad. I mean, I think these guys need a quarterback and need a quarterback bad. The only bright spot on this team is Bijan Robinson, but I don't think it's enough for them to even get close to winning this game. I got the Texans in this one, and I personally think they win by double digits.
Do you have an opinion on this game, El Gato?
I do. I fully expect Stroud to throw 5 interceptions and fumble twice and lose the game in the first quarter.
Wow. Wow.
No, just kidding. Joking aside, this dude is playing really, really well. I mean, the last 2 games, the offense is putting up 30-plus points. He doesn't look like a rookie. I mean, 5 games in now, you would think he'd be making mistakes, be maybe on the losing side statistically, but no, he's playing really well. But, on the other side, the other quarterback of the Falcons, Ritter, I mean, he's having some issues throwing downfield. I mean, he can't throw downfield consistently. However, on this game, Ritter and the Falcons 4-0 at home. The last 4 games at home. Texans are near last in run defense, which is the Falcons' strength. Will the Texans stack the box and force Ritter to throw? I'm thinking that'll be the game plan, but really all Ritter needs to do is just complete and execute on some downfield passing and keep that running game open. I'm gonna go with the home team on this one. Falcons have they've looked poorly, to Zay's point, the last couple of games, but maybe they get it right coming home on a weak defensive run team coming in. I'm going to go with the Falcons. I thought that was at minus 1.5. Am I wrong, Angela?
It is 1.5.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take the Falcons then at minus 1.5 on that one.
Okay. Well, I'm going with you, Big Zay, on this one. I agree with everything you said. Houston is coming off back-to-back impressive wins. Their offense is looking good with Stroud at the helm. On the other hand, Atlanta has only scored 13 points combined in their last 2 games. I'm staying with the hot team here. So give me the Texans getting the points.
All right.
Don't sound so sad, Elgato. That was a sad already.
You guys make some great points. But yeah, I was torn between this game, but I went ahead with the home team. So we'll see what happens.
Well, we will see. Do you have a 4th and 5th pick for us, Elgato?
Yeah, my first pick is going to be KC, Kansas City Chiefs at the Vikings. And, the point I made earlier with the Chiefs against the Jets, I mean, the Chiefs survived that game. They survived that Jets, a swarming defense. It seemed like the Jets threw at them whatever they could, and Mahomes somehow survived that game. He didn't throw as well as one would expect from him, throwing a couple of picks and not hitting some receivers. But the Vikings, they're kind of a mess right now. Kirk Cousins still, I don't know what's wrong with that guy. Sometimes he'll have 10 consecutive passes where he looks like an all-pro quarterback, and then he'll fumble, he'll throw a pick six, and then the Vikings are on the losing end of a ball game again. So Vikings having a kind of a really poor rushing attacks on the defensive side, meaning the defensive linemen. They're really at the bottom as far as putting quarterback pressure. You got Mahomes, with some time to let his plays develop downfield, find a dump-off pass. I think he's going to pick apart these Vikings team, and I think at -3.5, I'll take the Chiefs.
All right. What are your thoughts on this game, Big Zay?
Okay, surprisingly, I'm going to go with the Vikings on this one. I think that the Vikings are a very strong passing offense, and I think that Kirk Cousins can get it done. If they can limit their turnovers, they can stick and hang around this game. I think this might be a trap game for the Chiefs. Last week, we barely saw them keep the Jets away. But also, I personally think it's going to be a shootout. These are both 2 great passing offenses, and I think they're going to light up the scoreboard. Also, I would take the over on this game. This game, I think it's going to be a very, very high-scoring game. But that being said, I'm not going to say that the Vikings will blow out or beat the Chiefs, but I do think they will keep it close and make it very exciting.
I am going with Kansas City on this one. The Vikings are coming off their first win of the year, but it was against the lowly Carolina Panthers. The Chiefs are a well-oiled machine and should win this game in a shootout. Give me the Chiefs -3.5. But I do like what you said about the over in this game. I think it is going to be a high-scoring game. So I'd probably take the over. That might be a bonus bet from Big Zay and I, right?
All right.
Yeah, I'll take that. All right, you have a 5th pick for us, Elgato?
I do. It's Jaguars, Jacksonville at the Buffalo Bills. The Jags came off of a dominating win over the Falcons, and Bills, of course, they just dominated the Dolphins. That was, I don't know about you guys, but that game really surprised. So, both teams can have a great quarterback. But the Bills with Josh Allen, if this game is going to be a shootout with 2 solid quarterbacks that can spin the ball and throw it downfield, I'm going to take Josh Allen on this one. I think it's going to be maybe a high-scoring game, upper 20s. I think the Bills are solid. At least one touchdown, better than the Jags at home. So I'm going to take the Bills on this one.
All right. You have any thoughts on this game, Big Zay?
Yeah, for this one, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with the Jags at +5.5. And the only reason why I'm going to go against the Bills and with the Jags is due to the traveling factor. This game is being played in London. The Jags played at London last week. I'm assuming they stayed there until this week. So with that being said, I think that they're kind of like a little, another home game for them. So the Bills are flying over, and I think that plays a huge factor. I hate to go against the Bills because they're playing lights out right now, and I think they are one of the best teams in the NFL. But like I said, with them traveling, I think that there could be some lag with the Bills, and to get them to start off the game. I think the Bills do win the game though, but the Jags keep it close, and don't be surprised if the Jags can sneak away with the win and finish their London business trip, with a sweep.
Ooh.
All right. Well, I did read that the Jaguars did stay there for the week, so they did not travel back and forth. Buffalo does have to travel over there, but I'm taking Buffalo in this game. The Jags are still trying to find their way, whereas the Bills are back to their old ways, blowing out their last 3 opponents. So I'm going with Josh Allen and the Bills in this game.
All right. Interesting. Yeah, there's going to be some interesting football this weekend.
Man,
God, I can't wait.
I cannot wait as well. You have any final thoughts for us, El Gato?
No, it's just another fantastic NFL weekend coming up. Lots of interesting games. We have a Sunday night game, don't we? Anyone know who's playing there?
Somebody. I don't know. Somebody. But my prediction is the Cowboys are going to make the Eagles the only undefeated team in the NFL.
Wow.
That's a good pick.
I like that, but I don't like that.
I know, right? Yeah, I get it.
It's going to be interesting. We know how 49er fans can get. We also know how Cowboy fans can get, when they're feeling it. So it's going to be interesting. I'm just going to enjoy the show on the floor, on the casino, at the sportsbook, and enjoy the football game on the big screen. So it's going to be a good Sunday night.
I will too. I'm right there with you. What about you, Big Zay? You have any final thoughts?
Since we're talking about our personal teams, I'll talk about my beloved Birds from the city of brotherly love.
Let's hear it.
We got the Rams this weekend. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm kind of scared. Cooper Kupp I believe he is coming back. These young wide receivers the Rams got, man, they have been just unreal this year. And Matthew Stafford, he can still sling it. So I think it's gonna be. Some are calling it a trap game, and I think it's going to be very tough. Jalen and this offensive line is going to have to bring their A game. Our defense has to bring their A game. We're a little banged up in the secondary right now, but I think I'm hoping my Birds can pull it out. That way we can remain undefeated.
Yeah,
we'll see, right?
Cooper Kupp is back. So, but I still think the Eagles pull out a squeaker here. So at least I'm hoping for that as well. All right. Well, thank you for listening to 5 Picks and a Chick. Be sure to tell your friends about us. Also hit the subscribe and like button on our YouTube channel. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or ask Alexa to play 5 Picks and a Chick. Thank you to Big Zay for being with us today.
Thank you guys for having me. I would love to. I always have a great time on here.
Thanks, Big Zay. Thank you. We love having you on with us as well. As always, thank you to El Gato for being part of 5 Picks and a Chick. 1, 2, 3, break.
Break.